this does get notarized. So you're going to put state of, county of. You always put where you physically are located at that time, not where you've been sworn in at, but where you physically are located at that time. Okay. State of Virginia, county of Hopewell. Subscribe and sworn before me this 9th day of June 2020. You're going to sign state of, county of again, and put your expiration and then stamp it. Now, this is the good stuff, okay? This is like single-handedly probably the most important document in the closing package. Between the closing disclosure, the deed, and the note, everything else, you're good to go. As long as these are correct, you're usually good sailing, okay? I see questions, so let's do questions, and then we're going to hop into closing disclosure. So if their name is misspelled, don't they have to sign the same way? If their name is spelled incorrectly, that's not their name. So they're not going to sign that. They're going to put never been known as an initial. Is notary to notary? No. Like, is it compatible? Like, what do you mean? I don't understand what you mean. We train you how to use those platforms. So you have to go on there and complete your e-notarizations on there. Say what they do again if the name is incorrect. You would put on that line, never been known as, and initial it. They would do that, not you. Never been known as and initial. Can never be known as be abbreviated. I have heard people have done that. I do not have them do that. I have them write it out. I don't know. I don't want to tell you to do it and someone gives you a hard time about it. But I have heard notaries said they have had them do that and they were fine. So, I mean, if you do it, you don't have any problems with it. I was just clear it with the title company first to make sure that it works for them. Me personally, I tell them write it all out. Write it out. Never been known as, initial it. Let's get it done. And I'm in signings for 15 minutes. It doesn't hold you up that long. So, it's really up to you. But I think this is what I do. I put never been known as an initial. Well, I have them do it. Okay. All right. So, important document, the closing disclosure. So, the closing disclosure is the document that's going to tell the borrower everything they need to know about their loan for the most part. Law that was passed a few years ago about the closing disclosure is that the borrower is supposed to get a copy of the closing disclosure at least how many days before they close? Who knows? Who knows how many days before they close? Someone knows. I know somebody who knows because she had an interview, Alicia. And she said it right. 3 days. So they're supposed to get it 3 days before you show up at their house. That is the law. However, it's one of those laws like jaywalking because it never happens. It does sometimes, but these lenders, y'all know, if you haven't seen yet, you will. Sometimes you get doxxed the very last day, which means they just did it. So how can they possibly have seen that closing disclosure? Okay. You'll get to table sometimes and they'll be like, what is this cash to close? That is not what they sent me 3 days ago. Okay, it's a law. It was nice when they passed it, but no one follows it. Anywho, and we move on. The closing disclosure shows the date the closing disclosure was issued. The closing date was the day that you show up. The disbursement date is the date the loan will fund. Okay, so the loan is going to fund for this one on the 15th. This is important to know, only because people might ask you, and you really, well, you can get this question pretty much on any loan, but most refinances of primary residences have a right to cancel. It's going to give them a 3 business day right to cancel. However, purchases, refinance of investment property, I think refinance of primary is the only one with that right to cancel. But anyway, you'll see it in the package. They have same day funding. Okay, so if it says closing date is the 9th, it may say disbursement date is the 9th too. Those are the ones that they said we need those loan docs scanned back immediately because they can't disperse those funds. Whatever that cash to close could be $50,000. The loan could be like $200,000. They can't disperse anything until they get those signed documents back, and people are waiting for their money. Okay. It also is going to tell you the settlement agent or title company or attorney, whoever's doing the title portion of the loan, and their lender will be right here. The borrower's information will be there. The loan term is 30-year, fixed interest rate, refinance. It's also going to tell you their loan type, conventional, FHA, VA, all that good stuff. All right, let me see if I can scroll down. They had to send me a new one at the closing table because the one I had was wrong. Yes, that's a thing. But if at a closing table, if anyone ever sends you new docs, then you don't have to. Me, I ask for more money because at that point you need me to go print them unless the borrower is going to print them at their house. Because sometimes I'll have a printer, so I'll just print it here. If they're not printing, they want me to go back and print it and come back, then we're going to charge more because that is just, you have to drive, you have to print, you have to drive, you have to come back. So you want to make sure that you're getting your money's worth. Let's see. If a CD has not arrived at signers, are they allowed to decline to sign? People can decline at any point. They can see all their documents and say, I don't want to sign. They always have a right to decline. There's never a point when they're completing their loan that they have to finish. So at any point when the borrower says, you know what, I changed my mind, I think I'm just going to keep the loan I have. Or they could be about to buy a house and say, never mind, I don't want to do this. As long as the thing is only closed when all the documents are signed and you have sent them back to title. And even then, if they have a 3-day right to cancel, they can still void the whole situation. So it's never too late to say no, okay? I have had people actually say I'm not closing because I didn't get, they asked for at the closing table, they needed cash to close of an absorbent amount. And they're like, well, no one told me beforehand, so I'm not closing, this is unprofessional. And they decide I'm not closing. And so that happens sometimes. Hey, Melita, we're glad you're here. In the training, you say to only show the borrower the pages that they have to sign. My question is, wouldn't they miss a lot of info that way? And have you had anyone question not seeing the majority of pages? So, yes and no. I'm going to show you what's important to your loan. And you get a copy to keep. So if you want to review it all later, you can. But I only go through what they need to see, and which is really the signature pages. But you can review it all later when you have your docs, but I only give them the pages that they need to sign. I have had people say, can I see it? Very few people say, can I see all those pages? And I'll let them see if they want to see it. You can see it. Go for it. But I don't offer it. If they ask, it's very rare, then I'll give it to them. Debt settlement, I find they won't sign. It just depends. So who chooses the signing location? The borrower. Will you know the location before contacting the client? Yes. When you get the email confirmation, they'll tell you on the confirmation where the signing location is. You'll call the borrower and confirm the appointment with them, as well as the signing location. Okay, so loan terms, the loan amount, $165,000 plus, interest rate 3.25, monthly principal and interest $719. This loan does not have a prepayment penalty. Common question people ask, does my loan have a prepayment penalty? Or they'll say, well, can I pay early? Is there a fee for that? That's what that is. The prepayment penalty is a fee that some loans have if you want to pay early. Like if you want to pay off your loan earlier, some loans have a fee. You'll find that on both the closing disclosure and the note, okay? The quickest place to find it is the closing disclosure, okay? Because it's right here. Boom, right here, okay? Next thing is projected payments. I'm going to explain this to you too so you guys really understand it. So principal and interest is what's going to your lender. That's your note, right? $719.59. Mortgage insurance is insurance that some lenders require notaries to have, require borrowers to have to protect them against foreclosure or, default of payment. So mortgage insurance does not protect the borrower. It protects the lender. If something happens and you get fired from your job and you can't pay your mortgage anymore and you go in a default, that insurance pays out a portion of your loan, if not all of it, to the lender so that way they're protected. And so a lot of people don't like mortgage insurance. They feel like they're just throwing money away. But you only have to have it for a certain period of time. And it'll tell you, if they had it, it'll tell you how many years you have to have it, but it says 0 on here. So if it's a closing disclosure that has mortgage insurance, it would say like where it says year, it'll be split in 2, and it would say like from year 1 through 10, you're going to pay $50 a month for mortgage insurance, then it'll fall off in year 11. So it'll tell you when that mortgage insurance is going to come off, okay? And then estimated escrow is what, and the reason people always ask this too, why is my escrow estimated, right? And why is my monthly payment estimated? Okay, so let me explain that. Your principal and interest is not estimated. It is not changing unless you miss payments and then stuff happens with your stuff, you know, late fees and like that. But what you're paying for principal and interest is not going to change. The reason why this says estimated and your mortgage insurance doesn't change either. It says estimated because your escrow can change. Remember what escrow is? Escrow is your homeowner's insurance, but you can switch companies. You can say, okay, I'm paying, you know, this amount to State Farm, but hey, I want to go to Allstate and now I'm going to pay this amount, right? So you can always switch your homeowner's insurance, so that can change. Also, what can change? Property taxes, okay? Property taxes, it can change at any point as well, okay? So that's why this is estimated, because your property tax and your homeowner's insurance can change, okay? But for the most part, unless you don't do any changing or your city or county doesn't do any changing, this is your monthly payment, that $898. And then here, hold on, I'm sorry, guys. Give me a second. Let me try to scroll this down. And then here, where it says estimated taxes, insurance, and assessments, that's where the estimation kind of comes into. Again, property taxes, homeowners insurance, and other. So this other could say homeowners association if you're in an HOA. So what I'm going to explain to you really quick now what happens, because it's a common question too. If you don't want escrow set up, right? You would have had to have told that to your title and your lender before you close, right? Like that's not discussed before closing. Now, say you discussed it and you said, I want escrow, but just for property taxes, not for homeowners insurance. I want to pay that myself. And then you as the notary, you show up and property taxes and homeowners is on this closing disclosure. And they say, well, I don't want that. You have to call the lender. Well, title usually does your escrow, I think. But either way, you can call either one, call title or your lender. They have to redo this and set your escrow up a different way. So that's what happens. They say, well, I don't want to pay that. Or if it says there's no escrow set up, you're paying it by yourself. Well, I want escrow. Okay. They have to redo your closing disclosure and get all your documents corrected to have that, including your monthly payment. Okay. Really quick on this last page, then I'm going to hit your questions because I see there's a few of them. Sorry. Hold on. I lost my page line. Okay. All right. So cash to close is a big one. Okay.